Okay, so it is the 10th of January 2026. Uh, Obviously, I got a bit late for this video as well. It's been 5 days since the last video. I did promise every 2 to 3 days, but the reason I got a bit late was because I was working on another project with another client as well. Uh, but I will show you what I did so far. So, so in this one, I haven't done, once again, a lot of improvements. I've done somewhat, but I've done some important parts of the app itself. So the first thing I want to show you is the entire liking system. So what I've done is I've implemented a function where it changes the database value, and at the same time it also uses a local state as well, so that I can make seamless animations. Because if you were to only change the database value, what would happen is nothing would change on the screen. You would have to basically refresh in order for it to render the new updated database. To avoid that problem, what I did was I created two stores. One is in the database, one is a state, and then you update the state so that uh, locally it looks a bit smooth, and it looks as if it's instantly uh, upvoting or downvoting a post, and you can do that to any post. I also did maintain a post-vote database. I probably explained about this previously as well, but the reason for this is so that only one person can make one vote per one post. You don't want them to artificially bump up the vote count or bump down the vote count of a post. So just for that reason, I have this separate database that does the post vote count. You also have the replies for every post. So if you click on a post, you have the replies for it that goes on as a thread. The replies are structured in the same way as a post, except it doesn't have a title. It just has the content. And obviously the users can write a post, and once again I've used states over here as well, along with code to push it onto the database. So that, for example, let's say what's up, I just post anonymously and I post reply, it should pop up instantly. So the reason it's popping up instantly is because even though it's updating the database, it also adds it to the local state so that it seems smooth, even though technically if you just push it to the database, it wouldn't show up unless you reload the entire page. uh, that's one thing. And what else did I want to speak about? Yes. So the post and the post replies. Now, one thing I did want to show is how you can reply to every reply as well. So you want to sort of have this infinite nested thread as well. You can keep on replying to replies the same way Reddit would work. And to accomplish this, instead of making multiple databases, what I did was I basically made one database called the post table, right? And I made some of the values optionals. And so, for example, the content and the title. And I also added in an extra parameter that says response ID. So this links back to the same table itself. So this response ID links back to the ID of the post itself. So basically you can, any responses you write can be written back into the same post. Now you might ask why I did that. And the reason is because, once again, of this infinite structure. When you keep on having nested structures of a post and a reply, then that reply becomes a post and another reply. That means you'll have an infinite amount of tables, where one table for post, one table for reply. Then you would consider that as a post and a reply and a post and a reply. To avoid that problem, what I did was I just fit them all into one database and gave some of the column headers optional values, so that I can keep fitting them all into the same table. Uh, so that's kind of how I solved that problem. Let's see. So that's pretty much the code I've done for this. Now, as for the entire, the Reddit-like structured part of this application, the entire posts, replies, liking, commenting, and all that stuff is pretty much done. There's just one element I have to do, which is infinite scroll. Right now, it's just fetching all the posts till all the way to the end. But obviously, let's just say that 1,000 or 2,000 people were using the application, and you had 200, 300, 400 posts coming in. You cannot load them all instantly at the same time. So I plan on working on an infinite scroll system, where you go to the end of the page, then it would render the next 20, and then end of the page, the next 20. By that, you're not using all the resources efficiently, and it's just wasting all compute power on just loading all the posts during the initial load up of the DOM. That's pretty much it for the entire thing. So but just the infinite scroll itself, I probably won't work on at the moment because I plan on moving right now to the live chat feature. So on the WebSockets and so on and so forth. Because since this is still an MVP, I don't want to spend too much time on just one aspect. But that's pretty much for this section or this video.